What is up, everyone? Parax here, and I think it's time for some World of Tanks. I'm playing in the 5100 on El Haluf, and this seems like a pretty good matchup, I'd say. Top of the list, pretty much. Except for that one tier 9 on each team. I would kill to be that tier 9 right now, but I'm just stuck in a tier 8. Although one of the best tier 8s in my opinion, the AMX 5100. It's fast, it has insane clip damage, it has 300 average damage for 6 shells, so if you can get behind tier 10s and kill them entirely or almost completely kill them in a tier 8, it's basically a medium tank. But back to the game now. I'm heading to the AB12 area on El Haluf, and it looks like the rest of my team is doing the exact same thing. So already I have very little hope for this game, just based on the entire team is going this way, no one's flanking, and well, we'll see how it turns out. So now this is an awesome spot. I just discovered it when I drove here in this game. And but it only is going to work if there's no Artie on the other team, because if there's Artie and you try to go here, you are going to get deleted, pretty much. So only go here if there's no Artie on the enemy team. But overall, this is a pretty good spot, especially for something such as like a T-34 or a T-110E5, basically any of the American tanks, because they have really strong turrets and would be able to withstand crap tons of fire from this position. So I put some shells into that Carnarvon and one into the KV-4 so far. I decided that it was going to be a good idea to move up there somehow, but then I backed out because these guys are just going to continue to come around the corner. I'm aiming at the T-30's tracks to try to perma-track him. That way I can get all of my shells into him at once. And I recommend you do this if you have a high enough alpha gun. For example, the E25's gun isn't strong enough to... just doesn't have enough alpha to track things with one go. Same with like the Comet or something like that. So with higher alpha guns, you can, if you shoot the drive wheel of their track, you'll be able to track them most of the time, and it's really good with autoloaders because it just absolutely wrecks the enemy tank. Because if you put your first 2 shells into that track, and if you just keep pumping your shells into that spot, they're stuck there, and you are gonna be left with crap tons of damage. So this T-30 thought he was gonna be brave and come out into the open, but he doesn't look so brave anymore. I'm now up to 2,600 damage, and this game is only about 3 minutes old. So I'm gonna see if the enemies are gonna pop out there anymore. Oh yeah, there's a T-32. I always like to not clip right away if I see that there's no enemies present. I like to wait a little bit before I clip, but just a little bit, because it usually happens that as soon as I hit the reload button, the enemies start to pull out all over the place, and that's kind of aggravating. So I'm going to head over here because it looks like our T-34, 416, and KV-4 started to flank, so I'm going to help them out. And I'm reloaded, so I'm going to put the first shell into the track of the T-34 so he can't back up, and my second shell will kill him. And with my last 4, I'm going to fly around this corner and try to murder this IS-3. I shoot him once and twice, and it didn't look like he had the gun depression to shoot me. So I see the Tiger is coming up to try to take me out and reinforce his team, so I'm going to reload and run. That's pretty much what you gotta do in the AMX 5100. You have to dump your clip into something, and then while you're reloading, run away. Simple as that. And I bet that KV-4's raging because he only hit or damaged my track. So what I'm going to do is go back into my spot that I was sitting at earlier and try to get some more damage out. I only have 15 seconds in my reload, and the reload doesn't seem that long if you dump the clip and relocate. and the reload will seem like nothing because you're driving around. But when you're just sitting somewhere, it can be the longest 48 seconds of your life. So now that I'm loaded, I'm going to try to get some shells onto this T-34 and T-32. There's the T-34. I go for his track, and then I go for his track again, and finish him off. So now I'm going to back up and reload my gun. I do see, or not reload my gun, I'm going to attempt to run away because this situation looks very bad. Unfortunately, I was paying attention too much to that T-32. I swung way too wide and then got nailed by the T-30. 5,000 damage. Oh my gosh. And as you can see, it ended with the T-34 pretty much getting raped by the 5100. So that was kind of a heartbreaking game, I guess you could say, considering that I put my 5,000 damage in at the beginning of the game and we still lost it. So this was my ace tanker game. I also got high caliber, and I finished on the top. 5,000 damage, almost 4,000 damage ahead of the second place person. And our team still did really well. I mean, there was half of the team above 1,000 damage, and then there was me with 5,000. I'm not really sure how we lost that one, actually. I really have no idea. But anyways, if you've enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you next time.